Today we are going to show you who will be the next high-ranking Qliphoth devil of the next gate, and why the devil might have a twin. We found all of his attributes and also a very likely clue in demonology that shows why Nozel and Dorothy might be the ones who will fight against this high-ranking devil named Adramelech and his twin Anamelech, the devils of the sun and moon. Black Clover, the next high-ranking devil, Adramelech, and Black Clover chapter 291 prediction, here in Unami. With the latest chapter in Black Clover, the possibility arose that the devil siblings Lilith and Ama had finally been defeated. The result is that humans now have the upper hand. The Dark Triad may have gotten stronger, but with the reinforcement from the Heart Kingdom, we can assume that if they all team up, they can defeat the Dark Triad without any problems, as it was initially planned. However, things are not that simple, and therefore, the second gate of the Underworld must be opened very soon. But who's the devil of the second gate of the Underworld? That is the topic today. To understand who the next devil will be, we must first understand the Qliphoth tree. First, on the reliability of the following statement so that you understand that I'm not just clickbaiting, but actually doing my research and have my reasons for thinking that this particular devil is the next Qliphoth devil. In demonology, each layer of the Qliphoth is conceptualized and represented by a specific devil. The name of the concept of each layer is often the name of another devil in demonology, who is not the one who represents the position in the Qliphoth. This is a very huge misunderstanding that is often mistaken, especially in the Black Clover theories seen here on YouTube. Last time it happened with the Wol Thaumiel thing, if you all remember. Many people confuses those demonic concepts with the actual devil that represents that specific spot on the Qliphoth, leading to false prediction. For example, in demonology, for the first two positions of the Qliphoth, which represents the first layer of the Hell in Black Clover, we can see that both high-ranking devils, Lilith and Ama, are representing the first two stages and are also used in Black Clover as Qliphoth devils. So based on this concept, we can determine exactly who the next Qliphoth devil will be. Based on this concept, the next devil must be of the concept order Samael, and must be the devil Adramelech. In this particular case, however, the name of the demonic order is also the name of a high-ranking devil, named Samael. So if Tabata chooses the next devil, it really depends of whether he wants to follow the concept of the Qliphoth or has a reason for deviating from the original concept, as he has already done with Megicula and Zagret. Both devils do not exist in demonology and are the result of Tabata's imagination. But especially with the concept of the Qliphoth, Tabata has really little room for improvising, so that the next devil has to be Adramelech. Let's talk about the devil Adramelech so we can learn more about his appearance and magic. Adramelech is the president of the Senate of Demons in Hell, which means he works closely with Lucifugus in the government of the Underworld. Furthermore, which by the way seems to be irrelevant, but in fact one of his main descriptions is that he is in charge of Satan's wardrobe, so we have to deal with a fancy devil. He is shown with a human torso, just like all high-ranking devils so far, and the very important feature is his peacock tail, which will likely represent the wings of the devil Adramelech in Black Clover. It's interesting to know that Adramelech actually has a twin sibling named Anamelech. Adramelech was worshipped as the sun, his twin sibling as the moon. This could be an indication that both will be released together, as they might be viewed as one devil. Not to be confused with the situation of Lilith and Ama, both siblings and yet have two different positions on the Qliphoth. In the case of Adramelech, he literally has a twin sibling who is not listed in any position of the Qliphoth, so he is most likely living with his twin in the second layer of Hell. Whether Adramelech will show up with his twin is not clear, and it really depends on whether Tabata wants to include this or not. If so, we can expect them to have sun and moon magic, whatever that type of magic is supposed to be. Here too, we can expect another devil fusion. Adramelech works under the command of the devil Samael, who is a different devil and also shares the same name of the concept of the third position of the Qliphoth. If for some reason Tabata decides not to use Adramelech, then it could be the devil Samael instead. What's interesting here is that Samael is something like the husband of the devil Lilith. This would make a great connection to recent events if Samael found out that humans defeated his wife. Before my partner continues with why Nozel and Dorothy will be the one facing the devil Adramelech, let me know in the comments what your prediction is for the next few chapters. We are going to be posting very interesting videos this week that you really don't want to miss. So subscribe to our channel and don't forget to turn on that notification bell, as this way you can ensure that you will be notified when we are publishing our new videos. And thanks for 14,000 subscribers. It's crazy, I thanked you for 13,000 subscribers just last week, and now we are already 1,000 more. Thanks.
Now let's talk about how exactly can we expect the next devil to appear. As we mentioned earlier, when Lilith and Nama are finally defeated, the next gate of the underworld must obviously be opened very soon in order to equalize the difference in strength between the humans and the devils. To assume that the second gate may be open in the next chapter is perhaps a little too fast, as there are other things to see, such as what the remaining Magic Knights did in the time when Asta and Libe fought Lilith and Nama. But who knows, Tabata is unpredictable. And after the third devil is released, there will be 7 more devils. So there is a possibility that we will see the next devil sooner than we expected. It is not unlikely that we will see the next devil right away. Just to mention this, there is also the possibility that Morris can open 2 gates at the same time. We believe that the next devil will appear somewhere other than when Lilith and Nama are located, and will not confront Asta and Nacht, although it would be really interesting to see how Asta and Nacht would try to deal with this situation. Especially since this would give Magna and Zora the opportunity to show what they have learned over the past 6 months. However, they are actually clues in demonology that gives us information so that we can understand who the next devil will fight. Hence, we need to review some of the attributes of the third Clifford position. The heavenly spear of the next Clifford position is represented as the planet Mercury. But Mercury is also the chemical name of the element mercury, which happens to be Nozel's magic. As we know, we have seen almost everyone fighting in the Spade Kingdom so far, except Nozel and Dorothy. And as we know, the Devil Adrumelech in demonology has attributes of a peacock. And with that, we have found another attribute that can assign to another Magic Knight in the Spade Kingdom, who, just like Nozel, didn't really contribute in the Spade Kingdom War arc so far. Dorothy, the captain of the Coral Peacock. Both Nozel and Dorothy have not yet contributed to the Spade War arc, and coincidentally, these two also share attributes with the devil Adrumelech. The best would be if both of them would fight together against the next high-ranking devil from the second gate, Adrumelech. And the way the fights have worked so far, we have only seen one new form when 2 captains or vice captains fight together. You know, Charlotte and Jack. If this concept is taken further, we can most likely expect that Nozel could get a new form as well, simply because Dorothy's magic doesn't really leave much room for a new form, since her magic is based on non-existent things, while Nozel's mercury magic is a solid substance and can be physically used. So there can be a new form with mercury magic, and if we are being completely honest, Nozel is trying to be the next Wizard King, but for that dream, he hasn't shown much improvement lately, while so many other captains have had great power-ups. So it is now the time for Nozel to show his new power-up. But as we have already explained, it all depends on whether Lilith and Nama are really defeated or not, and whether Morris has already accelerated the process of the Clifford ritual again. However, if the next devil does not show up and Lilith and Nama are also defeated, we definitely need something or someone that can make the arc still interesting while the second gate is closed. It looks like almost all the devils of the first gate have been defeated already and are no match anyways. The Dark Triad is obviously still capable of fighting, and the Demon God is not defeated either, and it is even stronger than ever now. We still have no information on the 2 generals of the Diamond Kingdom that we saw together with Morris in his laboratory. It could be the 2 generals controlled by Vanica, but maybe they are 2 completely different generals, and Tabata is trying to fool us into believing that we have already seen these 2 generals. One of them can be the leader of the 8 Shining Generals, and the second could possibly be a new new general or an old general who is controlled by Morris because of the embedded diamonds of the Diamond Kingdom. Another question is how exactly the Magic Knights from the Clover Kingdom will try to free Yami and William. At some point, when multiple gates have been opened, they must realize that it will be almost impossible to defeat the Dark Triad together with several high-ranking devils. We know Max said it was possible to stop the creation by destroying the tree with anti-magic, but doing so could lead to the deaths of Yami and William. We also need to remember that we have Radis in the Spade Kingdom, who may have improved this magic in the last 6 months and may now be able to bring back to life anyone who has died just a few moments ago. Obviously, not those who are dead for longer than a few seconds or minutes. However, this is unlikely as Radis did not actually have the opportunity to improve his skills as he was imprisoned and had to work for the Clover Kingdom as a punishment for his crimes. Another option is to somehow free Yami and William without interrupting the ritual. We know Morris figured out how to speed up the tree as a third catalyst. Perhaps he can even continue the ritual without Yami and William necessarily being a part of the ritual. This would be a good solution to free Yami and William but keep the Clifford, making the arc even more interesting and giving humans a good reinforcement with 2 very strong Magic Knights who are eager for revenge. We shouldn't forget that there are still many unsolved puzzles in this arc. Let us know what you think might happen in the next few chapters. Hope you guys enjoyed our video, and if you did, don't forget to smash the like button, and if you are new to our channel, make sure you subscribe with the notification bells turned on. See you guys in the next video. Yami out.